So this is the first installment of, what the hell are we calling this thing? The hot dish? Sure. It's going to be football-inspired cuisine by the opponents of the Vikings this 2020 season. So we're starting off week 1. Historic US Bank Stadium, got the Greasy, Grimy Green Bay Packers coming in. So what says Wisconsin besides beer cheese soup?
So ingredients, obviously you got your cheese, you got a 16-ounce little beer, pick PBR. Sorry, glug, glug, glug. A 14-ounce PBR. There you go. Then also we got some half and half, a little bit of creaminess. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Also we got mirepoix. We got some carrots, some onion, some celery. I like a little bit of texture in the soup as well as the flavor. Then you got butter as well as you got the flour for the roux. Also, if the soup doesn't turn out, we can always just turn to murder. There's been another murder. So melt down your butter, add a little bit of olive oil, start sauteing up your vegetables, a little bit of salt and pepper. And there will never be like an ingredients list on this because you're adults, you can figure it out. Now saute up the vegetables until they're nice and soft, just like Aaron Rodgers, or at least his bird bones. Toss in the flour, again, low heat, stir fast to incorporate that flour. So all that butter, all of that olive oil, all of the liquids, going to help that flour cook off that rawness, incorporate that. And you're going to rue the day, Trebek. So I like adding a little bit half and half right afterwards. Start incorporating that. You can also use heavy cream too, but we add half and half. What can you do? Cash rules everything around me. Cream. Next up, add about a quarter of the beer. Now, you want your beer at about room temperature. Hell, even warm it up if you can. That way that the roux doesn't tighten up where you have big fluctuations in temperature. But again, what can you do? Roux is going to accept that liquid, start working that in. It's going to be less and less thick every time you add more liquid. And also at a certain point, you're just like, F it. Just pour one out for the homies. Also, it's going to cook off all the booze, but leave that beer flavor so you can serve it to kids. You'll be fine. Now it's time to add that cheese. Get that all up in there. Now, you can add as much cheese, as much or as little cheese as you want, but we're going for the full Gilbert Brown experience. So this is going to be a fatty ass soup. It's going to be great. It's going to be thicker than a Snickers. So a little bit of cheese at a time. Stir that in. You'll see that it'll melt and incorporate. And then also let it come back up to temperature because you don't want to keep dumping more cheese into a cold roux. Also, you'll notice that as this goes along, it's going to start taking on the consistency of like queso. So this is actually a great way to make your own homemade queso. As well as leave out the mirepoix. And if you want to make some homemade mac and cheese, you'll not use the Velveeta stuff. I mean, this is how you do it. Oh yeah, leave the beer out too, unless you want beer mac and cheese, which actually sounds pretty damn phenomenal. And then eventually you're just like, blah, blah, blah. Also, if you do happen to be Asian like me, just apologize in advance because we as a people are not known for our ability to digest dairy. So RIP everyone else in the house. A little dash of cream, loosen this thing up. A little bit more soupy like consistency as opposed to queso-y. You can also add just straight up water or add some chicken stock or add more beer. Who cares? And there you go. Beautiful beer cheese soup inspired by the Greasy, Grimy Green Bay Packers. But, by God, we have to Minnesota this thing up. So a handful of wild rice right into that soup. Ooh! The best of Minnesota. What's tolerable about Wisconsin coming together. It's beautiful. SKOL Vikings.